taking that one step further, if you have a mental illness and you have maybe more of a risk, are there certain triggers, common triggers, that would be enough to put someone who's already suffering from, say, anxiety or depression, or even, I don't know, bipolar disorder into a mode where they are actually considering suicide?
Yeah, so there's a number of different triggers that come into play, and it really varies on that adolescent. Oftentimes they have to do with loss and change. So if there's a sense, and the loss could be a disconnect from your peers and your friends. It could be a loss in the sense of you were a straight A student and you got a C on an exam. Those things by themselves don't necessarily make someone have a suicidal crisis, but when they interact with some predispositions, which could be they are depressed, they do have anxiety, they could have a family history of depression, they could have another family history of some other mental illness. A family member may have died by suicide. There's a lot of different predispositions that if they interact with triggers, that's a problem. But the important thing is with triggers, it's not always that something happened, it's the perception that something might happen. And so, you know, kids who do really well in school, I mean, it's good to have some anxiety when you go before taking an exam. You know, if you're not worried at all, you sometimes didn't study well enough, and if you're worried too much, that sometimes gets in the way. So that's sort of a normal response to have some anxiety. But if they're coming home all the time feeling like I failed, I definitely failed, there's no way I passed that exam, you know, that's a problem. As well as, you know, the kids are, oh, my boyfriend or girlfriend, they're gonna break up with me. I saw them with this other guy, or I saw this with this other girl, and you know, I'm so worried, because in their mind, the worst case scenario sometimes happens. That is somewhat normal in adolescence. But when that's met with anxiety, with depression, with other other predispositions, I should say, for suicide, you know, that can get someone starting to think that maybe this isn't worth it anymore. And so we do need to be concerned about that.